Please eat and enjoy. I just said to everyone who came in, you're probably tired of hearing it if you came at the beginning. Ovadia Yosef ben Yaakov. It's for Ovadia Shloshim this evening. That's his name. So when you make a bracha, please feel free to have in mind that it should be an aliyah for his neshama. It's also Ovadia Yosef ben Yaakov. Maran, right? So I have a beautiful book here, Maran. So it's a play on Moshe ad Moshe. So also it's our daughter Chani Shoshana, otherwise known as Annie Rose. It is her birthday this evening, 2nd of Kislev. It's her second birthday, and we, in the merit of having this lovely simcha in our home for Simchat Torah, she should grow up to be a Bas Yisrael and a merit to all of us and to her grandparents and to her parents and her siblings. Amen. Amen. And to Ovadia Yosef ben Yaakov, that's right, yes. Who has lots of children about that sort of thing. I would also like to say, I'm not going to make a Birkat HaGomel, but we arrived here about 9 months ago in Australia, and it's taken a while for things to settle down for us. And Baruch Hashem, we had a little baby, Yaakov Eliyahu, Jacob, and thank God everything is settled now. We had the bris at my parents-in-law's house. The Shalom Zacha here, but I think because it was raining so hard that night, and because I hadn't met that many people, it was a really nasty night of weather. But we didn't actually have a minyan, so it's the first time we had a minyan in our home. We'd have a Mariv here this evening earlier, we have a Sudat Mitzvah for the siyum and for the aliyah for Ovadia, and it's really lovely to be able to make smachot shel mitzvah in one's home. I'm very excited by that. I'd also like to say, this week's parasha begins by Yaakov me Beersheva vayelech Haran. Yaakov went from Beersheva and he went to Haran. It carries on. I feel almost, it's talking to me. I went from one place to another. He stayed there because it was sunny, basically. So I'm sort of feeling that. It's talking to me a little bit. He said it was sunny. But Vayetze Yaakov, Rashi says what he says about why does it say Vayetze and then Vayelech? Just say Vayelech Haran. He went to Haran. Why does it say Vayetze in Beersheva? So Rashi says what Rashi says is not really relevant to us right now. But one thing I once heard is that when a person goes somewhere, sometimes he has a reason to leave where he's leaving. Sometimes he has a reason to go where he's going. I was leaving London, not because I had a reason to leave, but because I wanted to experience something a bit different in life. I have blessed with a lovely family in London. I didn't have a reason to leave them, but I wanted to experience something a bit different. And I have to say, I didn't know if I was going to get a Vayelech as well. I didn't know if I was going to achieve anything in terms of my life here and enjoying people here. 9 months on, Baruch Hashem, I have a lovely full table of people who come to share and start mitzvah with us. And I would like to say, thank you to everyone here. Everyone has made me welcome here. All of you have been here, apart from Rabbi Chanan, who wasn't here, who's only been here about as long as I have. But otherwise, everyone else is not as new here as I am, and everyone, including Rabbi Chanan, has made me very welcome here. And I'd like to say thank you to all of you for participating and for being here. Yes, Toby.
I was going to say, everyone wants to leave London, so...
Is that right? Yes, very good.
Everyone's got a reason to leave.
Just a few words on Ovadia, and we'll move on to the siyum as well. Ovadia was there was a lot of controversy in his life. I don't really want to focus on the controversy, at least not the political controversy. Maybe some of the halachic controversy I'll come on to, but he was a genius. And when he was born in Iraq and he moved on to Yerushalayim, Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said about him when he was 33 years old, he said, he's echad migdolei Torah shekamu le'am Yisrael b'dorat ha'achronim. He's one of the greats of Torah that's appeared in the Jewish people in the recent generations. Rav Shlomo Zalman and Rav Adi were good friends. They wrote to each other. They had a famous debate about whether you can open bottles that have a metal top on Shabbos. Rav Adi said you can open them. You can open a screw cap, like a metal cap. Rav Shlomo Zalman said you couldn't. You're making a kli out of it. And they had a debate about it. And often you'll find Ashkenazim who don't want to open it will come to us Friday and say, "You're my Shabbos guy for me on this particular halacha." You find that sometimes. Most of the halachas go that way. Most of the kulas are in the Shulchan Aruch against the Ramah. But when he was 9 years old, he learned the whole of Mishnayos, Shabbos, Psachim, Avos, Sukkah, Makkas by heart, and Shnai Mochs and Eli Metzias, Hamafkid, Nazar, 4 of the Prakim of the Gemara about Metzia by heart. Okay, at 9 years old, and he was tested on it, and they bought him a book to say, "Well done." They bought him a book, right, which he read probably in 5 minutes, and then remembered the whole. He had photographic memory. The guy was a genius. 12 years old, he wrote his first book. It was a school book, full of riddles and things. I read a lot of this stuff. Benny Lau, who's the nephew of the former Chief Rabbi Lau and the cousin of the current Chief Rabbi Lau, wrote a beautiful book called Maran. So there's a famous Moshe lo hayah Moshe, right? From Moshe Rabbeinu to the Rambam, there was no one like Moshe, so he wrote Maran from the Mechaber Shulchan Aruch, Maran. Until Rav Adi, there was no one who came like them. It's beautiful. It's got Rav Adi's Haskama. He went to his home, he spent a lot of time there. It's the only biography of Rav Adi that has his own Haskama in it, so you can be sure you'll find beautiful things in there. But it's basically Rav Adi through the eyes of his own psak. It's a very interesting book. It's a really big Talmud Torah. You can sit and learn this in the Beis Medrash. It's full of tshuvas and things of the halacha. He wrote his Rosh Hashiva Ataya. I think that's how you pronounce it. Went to his father. Ravadi's father had a grocery store in Jerusalem, and he went to him and said, "If you want your son to work in the grocery store," he said, "I'll come work. I'll come work in the grocery store instead. He should learn. His learning is more important. He's wasted anywhere outside the Beis Medrash because he's got a brilliant mind." And then his father acquiesced and sent him back to the Beis Medrash. He wrote a book, one of his first books called Yabia Omer. And Yabia Omer is the pasuk we all say every Shabbos morning, Yom Liyom Yabia Omer, V'la Yechavedat. And one of his tshuvas is called Yechavedat. There was a radio station set of tshuvas, beautifully written, very easy to read in very simple Hebrew. Like everyone, you can sit and just read it, very basic Hebrew and understand. Yabia Omer was much more complicated tshuvas, much more in depth, many more makarot. It certainly wasn't a radio station communication. And the reason he chose the name Yabia Omer, and this is, again, you should see the brilliance of the man, the gematria of Yabia Omer is Ovadia Yosef ben Yaakov, who would have figured that out. And Yabia